Okay, so actually I grew up in Altadena.
Okay.
And it was a great experience. It was a wonderful place to grow up. I mean, the history of Altadena and Pasadena, and then going to John Muir, it's just so many memories and just a lot of history. I loved like the traditions that we kept going. Like, I mean, who has the turkey tussle? You know, who has it? And we're like, what's this? The 69th year? My. Oh my God, I'm telling my age. I hope this doesn't interfere with my getting a gig. Like, our 30th class reunion at John Muir.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm here. I moved to Brooklyn 9 years ago. I can't believe it's been 9 years already. Yeah. I love Brooklyn because I'm an artist, and Brooklyn is so cultural. It's so cultural. It just feeds my soul. Our people are very progressive. You know, people own businesses and just intellectual conversations, and everybody's doing something. You know, it's inspiring there. Here, I felt like I was stuck. You know, like I had to wait for my agent to call me before I would get a gig. But there, you can make stuff happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, and the community of artists is a very tight-knit community as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, I love Brooklyn for that. Oh, Lord. I was born with gifts. My dad was an actor before me.
Oh.
And my mom and dad met in an acting class.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of trickled down to me. I started writing when I was in the 6th grade. So I write, and I would put on plays at school and stuff. I'll never forget, I did The Wiz when I was at Edison, and I sang like 8 songs. It was ridiculous. I was Dorothy. I sang about 8 songs. I don't think nobody else sang. It was just me. And then I went to Pasadena for 1 year. And Mr. Franco was the drama teacher there. I loved him. And then I transferred to Muir. No, but we started a gospel choir at John Muir. Yeah, we started a gospel choir there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You.
I'm an actress. I sing. I write. I have a jewelry line. Soon I'll be having a clothes line. Yeah.
That's a lot.
I write poetry and scripts, and yeah, I wrote a one-woman show.
Did you perform it?
I have had a stage reading, but I haven't put it up yet. I'm still trying to figure out in between. You know, I'm a Mysteries of Laura. That can be demanding at times, and the other things that I do. I'm trying to balance out when to do it and also get that money. Yeah, to get funding together to put it up. Okay, so in October of last year, I stopped working as a nurse. And actually, I've been in the business 20 years, and I've been a nurse for 20 years as well. So I've been doing it simultaneously for a long time. And then God just recently told me I had to stop that. And I stopped working in October, and it's just been my creative life that has been sustaining me. It's a little jumping off the ledge, but you know, that's how faith works. Yeah. You know. Oh no. No. And you know, the thing is that everybody has their journey, you know. I never forget, like, even now, turning on the TV, I cannot turn on the TV without seeing one of my friends, you know. And, you know, I'm getting up there. You know, I could drop it. I don't know about bringing it back up. But, you know, I'm getting older. I was like, okay, Jesus, you said I was going to be a star. Or when that going to happen, you know? But things are manifesting, and a lot of great things have been happening. This past year was really tough for me because I had to really fight for myself as an artist. The business side of everything was grueling. But now I'm coming out of that, and things are getting a little easier now. And I'm excited about, what's coming, I had a reoccurring on Everybody Hates Chris. I did The Sitter with Jonah Hill. I've done Desperate Housewives. I've done Scrubs. I've done, stuff. Right now I'm on Mysteries of Laura. We're in our second season. I played the nanny Alysia. Yeah, the character was named after me. I am a character actress, yeah. I mean, I'm not an ingenue. I am a character actress, yes. And I love diving into a character. The character for Mysteries, I cultivated.
Okay.
Yeah. I started out in the pilot, and when I auditioned for it, it was only 2 lines. And I was like, I can't believe, my agent sent me out for this, I said, I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to do me, And I just went crazy. And they wanted me. And so when I got to the set, the director said, I loved your audition tape. I said, well, is that what we're doing? He said, that's what we're doing. I was like, cool. So it's a scene with me and the boys and Deborah Messing and Josh Lucas. Their kids are on the bridge peeing on each other while they're having a conversation somewhere else. And, I'm like, hello, you might want to get your kids, And I did a rant all the way from where the boys were all the way to the end of the bridge. And every take, people were like, oh my God. And Deborah, which is interesting because Deborah had just lost her mom. So we had met in the trailer doing hair and makeup, but it was very somber. But when we got on the set, she was like, oh my God, who are you? Where did you come from? Oh my God. Like, it was crazy. So I heard back from the producers. They said, we want Alysia, but we don't know where to put her. And so I was telling my agent, email them back and tell them, the kids don't have a nanny. She didn't do that. So I looked for the director on Twitter and sent him a message saying, the kids don't have a nanny. And then after that, couple of months after that, they called me in. And I was in a fitting at the same time they were doing the table reading for that episode. And so I came in a little late. So I came in right when my character comes in. And then I look on the script and I see my name. And I'm like, oh. Because I didn't even know who I was, what the character was or anything. Mm-hmm. I didn't find out until I opened the script. And it's awesome. Yeah.
With that.
I would say that the only way it would be limiting is that the roles are not available. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In my instance, my career has been a little different. But I would say that the roles that we want to play have not been, there hasn't been a lot of roles. Mm-hmm. So generally you see the same people, whoever's hot at that time is like who they rotate with. Or it'll be an instance where somebody's worked with a specific director. Mm-hmm. Octavia Spencer is one of the example of that, where she's worked with somebody was a director who was her friend. And she's done a lot of films with him, So sometimes there's a director and you may have a muse, and so you see that person repeatedly. Gabrielle Cinebag with Lee Daniels, mm-hmm. That kind of a thing where you see the same people in the same projects. But things are moving, right now. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of characters coming forward, who are black. We're writing our own stuff. We're producing our own stuff now. So the future looks really promising. Because at one time, I didn't think black people existed. If you turned on the TV, you wouldn't think black people existed. To write and produce, to tell our own stories. That's a big thing. Like, if you leave it up to somebody else to tell your story, they're not going to get it right. You know, they're not gonna be able to capture the essence of who you are. They may have the facts, you know, but they don't have the depth. You know, I think we need to tell our own stories. So that means writing. You know, that means producing. That means directing. And those avenues are opening up more and more. You know, but we have to do that. You have to.
Right.
You have to, because that shows our viability. Because it's real easy for them to say, people don't come out and see this. Or, you know, black people don't support their own. If we just went through the churches and the churches supported our artistry, we would just blow it out. I mean, Passion of Christ was a good example of that. You know, all the church folk came out. I mean, Tyler Perry is another, that's his audience. So if then we can make it, because our dollars are very valuable. Actually, I've been thinking a lot about John Muir lately, and I want to invest money into John Muir, especially recruiting. I remember we went to one turkey tussle, and you see, you know, Pasadena's band and everything, you know, they about 300 deep, and we had like 3 people in our band, and 2 of them were tuba players. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, like, what happened? You know, what happened? So I know when we went to John Muir, they recruited a lot. I don't know if they still do that.
I think so.
And we need that, you know. So I wanted to put dollars back into the school for music, because that was one of the things that saved me. I was a flag girl, you know, and that was in connection with the drum section, you know. And so I think that we all need to come back and pour back into the school that made us who we are. I want to be bi-coastal, yes. I want to be bi-coastal. But, you know, definitely the work has to make me bi-coastal. So if people started hollering at me here, it's no problem to come back and forth. My roots are still here. My family's here. So, yeah, that is the ultimate goal, is to be bi-coastal. It's just right now, New York is offering so much to me. I think the difference is that the cultural awareness and the community of artists being so tight-knit. You know, we support each other out there. You know, we support each other, and we give to each other in different ways. Where here, it's a little different. People are individualized, and, you know, people might not want to share, thinking, you know, you're going to take away from them or something like that. The community was so tight-knit. Like, everybody grew up from elementary school on up, you know. And then there were generations, you know, of people who came through Pasadena. And, like, that experience growing up there, you couldn't trade that for anything in the world. And we have to keep that going. We have to allow children coming after us to have that same experience, and keep the culture and the legacy and the traditions intact. It's so important. We're going to do the same thing in Brooklyn, you know, the gentrification. You know, you came there because of what it was. Now you don't want to hear the drums, you know. You know, what is that about, you know?
Absolutely.
It's the same thing, where, you know, our traditions will get lost in the process if we don't fight for them. Well, right now, immediately, working on pilot season. I would like to get another show. I love Mysteries of Laura. They've been really, really good for me and to me. We're a very close-knit cast. There's no divas or anything like that. It's, you know, a really great working environment. But I'm ready for more. I also write. So my one-woman show, I'm intending to put that up. Also, my jewelry and my clothing line. I made these.
Oh, those are beautiful.
And I'm just open to whatever comes. I would say first to get into a good acting class, so you can hone your skills, because you don't want to go in front of somebody before you're ready. You never want to go in front of them being green, because the thing is that if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to cost somebody money, you know. So you don't want that reputation to get out there that you don't know what you're doing, but you're willing to dive in anyway. I would say hone your skills. Also, is that your purpose? If you can breathe and do something else, that's probably what you should be doing, you know, because it's not an easy road. People get caught up in the glamour of it, but there's a lot of hard work that you got to put in to it, you know. And then you may have a whole lot of no's before you get a yes. You have to be spiritually strong for that. Yeah. So I would say if you have the gift, go for it. If you don't, have a seat. Have several seats.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I would say The Sitter. Yeah, The Sitter was really nice. God is amazing, because it was a really small part compared to the rest of the movie. And it definitely pays for you to know who your boss is. I found out halfway through the shooting that Jonah Hill was my boss, you know. And so I had to play it a certain way, because you want to stay in your lane, you know. And because I did that, and the relationship that I cultivated with him, he promoted me, you know, all through the promotional tour. I did an interview with Wendy Williams on Wendy Williams' show. He put my clip on WWE's website. I got a lot of, you know, promotion from him directly because of that. And yeah, that was a really good moment. It's funny because writing in LA for a New York show.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't understand the weather.
Yeah.
You know, like it was so funny because they had to shoot on the Intrepid, and it was winter.
Ooh.
And the Intrepid is on the water.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, did they really write this?
Yeah.
I was saying, you know, I had sent a message to our executive producer, Jeff Rake, and I was like, you know, I know you're in your cozy little office, and you know, I was like, you know, they're on the Intrepid, and then that morning they sent out notices to everybody that we have hand warmers, we have heaters, we have blankets for everybody and stuff. So I was like thinking he was out here in sunny California. He was there.
Oh.
He was on the Intrepid. I said, now that's gangster.
Yeah.
You know, I have to give you props for that, because if you would have wrote that for them to be out there in that coat and you didn't participate, you know, that would have been something. But, you know, he manned up and he was right in there with them. I thought that was pretty cool. They kind of construct all of my scenes into kind of one day, maybe 2 days. It can be a grueling process. When I first get there, I go to my dressing room, and then wardrobe will come in, and they'll put up my wardrobe for me. They'll hang up my wardrobe for me, or I may have a fitting if they got something new or something. And then from there, I go to hair and makeup. I do put in an order for my breakfast, so I usually have a handler, and they take care of me throughout the day. So my handler will go get me breakfast. I'll go to hair and makeup from there, and then there's sitting time, you know, where sometimes you're just sitting and you're waiting to go on. And then what happens is they call me to rehearsal, and I have to go on the set and we rehearse it and work out the logistics of it. You know, where the camera's gonna be angled, do we need to move, you know, some things, or, you know, how the scene is gonna work. And they break it down, you know, with the crew and everything. And then I don't really stay in my dressing room very much. I like to, basically it's about building relationships. I can't build a relationship and I'm spending most of my time in the dressing room. So I talk to the crew, I talk to the director, you know, I kind of just stay on the set from rehearsal, from the time they set up to the time we actually start shooting. I'm not on every episode. They write me in, you know. I've only done 2 episodes for this season, and then when I go back, I'll be shooting another episode. So the thing about me is that I don't know like when they're going to have me. Okay. I find out through the casting director what episodes I may be in, and it may be like 2 at a time that they'll tell me, and that's kind of how I know. So right now my life is like always kind of on hold. That is so funny, because I thought when I went to New York, I'd be like, I'm doing Broadway, I'm, you know, gonna do all these plays. I'm still a film and TV girl. That's kind of bewildering to me. I'm still a film and TV girl. So it's interesting when you have a plan for yourself and God has a plan for you. It's like, why did I go to New York to film and TV, you know? It was funny when I first went, and what prompted me, God told me to go. And I was like, it took a year before I actually answered that call. And I was like, Jesus, I don't know if you know, but film and TV is in LA. You might want to ask somebody about, you know, Jesus, you know. No, but really, New York has been very, very good to me. It's been really, really good to me. So I'm happy with the journey that I've been on. Yeah. But I do want to come home sometime, so I'm hoping somebody will start hollering this way, you know, and I can come home more often, you know, to work. Oh, that's a good question. It's so funny because recently I had a meeting with a director, and I have a couple of projects that I'm going to do with her. And people know me for comedy. Comedy is very, you know, straight off the top of my head. It's very, very easy for me. I love drama. It makes me work. It makes you work all those muscles, you know. And we were having the meeting, and I told her that I write. And she said, oh, you do? And I said, yeah. And I said, you know, let me read you something that I wrote. And she was just like, oh my God. Like, I had no idea. And I was like, yeah, you know. And then she was like, and we were at a Starbucks, and it was at 42nd Street, and it was like off the chain busy. And she was like, oh my God, you were able to do that with all these distractions and everything? Like, and you almost made me cry. She said, I don't cry. So I think that's why I came up with the one-woman show, because it's a very good example of all the things that I am. I'm funny, but I can make you cry too, you know. And then that I write as well, and sing. There's music in it too. But that's like encompasses all that I am. And sometimes people just see you in one avenue or one aspect, and they don't see the depth of you, you know. So you have to kind of show them who you are for them to get it, you know.